Hi, everyone. I'm Carly Hill, and welcome to our first interview for our Impact Makers. All right, so I'm here today with LaChanee Hips, a good friend of mine. She's the founder of Buck Out Cleveland, and we're just going to have a conversation. She's going to share a little bit about her nonprofit experience with you all. So hopefully you learn something and you take something away. All right, so LaChanee, introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are and a little bit of your background.
Sure. Well, I'm LaChanee, as she shared, and I attended Shaw High School, where I think that really sparked the journey that I'm on now as it relates to my passion in dance. As a member of the Shaw High School Marching Cardinal Band, I was an auxiliary member, so I was a dancer and a flag girl, basically. And during that time, I was introduced to this style of dance that seen by most dancers that are part of like the marching bands on a college level. When I was in high school, we traveled a lot and saw a lot of HBCU or historically black college bands, and I had a desire to, perform on a college level as a dancer there. So, long story short, I ended up attending Alabama State University and performing as a sensational stingette for 3 years, not before basically being rejected or not making a team in 2011. And the issue at that time was just my lack of preparation technically as a dancer. So after performing for about 3 years, I graduated from Alabama State and returned home from Cleveland, where I was met with a lot of young dancers who really wanted to learn the style of dance and aspire to actually do the same thing and follow the same path that I followed. And that really sparked Buck Out Cleveland. We utilized dance to bridge the gap between Northeast Ohio youth and higher education at historically black colleges and universities, while also increasing awareness of professional dance careers. So we do a lot of work to connect dancers to not only the dance training, but the resources that's necessary for them to be successful after high school and obtain their education on a college level, but also be able to see that there's opportunity to take dance not only as a passion, but as a possible career path. So that's what Buck Out Cleveland does, and we're growing steady. I also am the dance program manager at the Rainey Institute. So I just really have been able to just take my passion for dance that once was a hobby and be able to use it as my career path.
Awesome. So my question to you is, with that being said, why nonprofit? So I know a lot of personal elements of your journey, but share with everyone, why did you go from Buck Out being a for-profit business to nonprofit?
Yeah, so as Carly shared, Buck Out Cleveland was once an LLC. And honestly, it took for me to quit my day job for me to really see that the organization really just needed the community support. It was beyond myself, it was beyond my own personal mission. And honestly, once we made that shift, we were able to, one, just receive more support in various areas, connections to resources, grants, of course, and being able to kind of just stand on our own as an organization. But two, I mean, honestly, it just made life easier just being able to rely on the community and give the organization back to the community. I felt like the community came together and helped me accomplish my goals. And so now I just felt like it was just really time to just give the organization back to where it belonged. And we've just been, honestly, more successful being a nonprofit entity.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, along that journey, what do you think is your favorite thing about working with Buck Out and your favorite aspect? So I'm talking about, in nonprofits, you have marketing, you have development, you have programming, you have board management, all those things. So of all the elements of running a nonprofit, what do you think is your favorite thing that you do?
Definitely the programming and being able to directly work with those dancers or those young ladies that come through our doors on a daily basis. We do a lot of things administratively just to get to the purpose of why we started our organization, which was, for me, just to teach dance. Right now I have my hands in a lot of different pots, but at the end of the day, when 6 o'clock comes and we open our studio doors and teach the classes and are able to just be directly with our community, that's the part that I look forward to the most.
Mm-hmm. So on the other end, what's the most challenging thing? And you can be totally honest because we're here to help the people. So challenge, go.
There's two aspects that are most challenging for me. I would say the number one most challenging is like having to, I'm gonna say supervise, but implementing our board is very challenging, just because people have a passion to give, but it's not as strong as your own personal passion when you start an organization. And sometimes you just have to like do the work to get things done, but it's not healthy to kind of do everything. Mm-hmm. So implementing the board was challenging because I needed to, one, just make sure everybody, got set up. When we formed the committees, I had to attend all the committee meetings in order to get things started. And it's kind of like you have to really just push in order to get to autopilot. Mm-hmm. I think the second most challenging thing is development. I have a history in marketing, so that side of it isn't as tough. It's pretty easy, but it's still like a lot of work. The social media schedule and the content and the emails and the text message alerts just to keep people engaged. It's a lot, but then there's the other side of making sure that we have access to funding and finding it and making sure we qualify and getting the information together. And now I'm getting to the point where it's time to start reporting and things like that. So those are my challenges for me, just because those aren't really, again, that's just like admin work, Mm-hmm. It kind of is like the things you have to do in order to get to the part that you're passionate about. It's like, it's the, I have to work.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so your organization is kind of in that stage where you're transitioning from having like just you solo as the person on the team to introducing a board and also working to build up your staff so that you can, and build up your revenue so that you can hire people to handle some of these things, right?
Yes. So right now, just really looking to engage more. I think if it's just so many areas. For one, I would love to be able to kind of just have like administrative support again, going back to, the little tedious things and even in-house, right? Like having the support to be able to make sure that dancers that come in are enrolled properly or greeted at the door, or even the studio just being open, the space being open to the community, at the time that it needs to. I still work a full-time job, so being able to kind of split my head in half and make sure I'm 1 foot here, 1 foot there. It's pretty difficult, but we're getting to the point where, one, I'm developing a lot of leaders among those participants. Mm-hmm. So some programming actually can run on autopilot if we need it to, which is great because we're growing leaders. But still, just the support, of the community is needed. And I just look forward to be able to provide an actual job opportunity for those who want to be involved.
Sure. Okay, and so I have one more question, going back a little bit to your board and how you got there. So can you tell us a little bit about how you found your board members, how you kind of created that initial group of folks to support the organization?
Well, shameless plug, thanks to Essential Impact for just guiding that entire process, honestly, and making sure that, one, we knew we had a solidified mission, vision, our objectives were clear, so that those individuals who read and have an interest in joining and helping our program, they understand clearly what we do, what our purpose is, and why we're here. I think that part just really helped, because once people saw that information up on our website, they were interested to even learn more. And then being able to be guided to say, okay, well, we need this board officer or this role, or the board is able to serve this purpose, and being able to outline that so that it's clear and that those that are signing up know what they're signing up for, they know what they're getting committed to. Just truly thankful for Carly and her process and making sure that we had all that set up so that those that are involved now, they know what they were getting into, and there's no surprises.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. That's a teachable moment for those listening, especially those who are looking to build your board up. It's really important to not just seek out people who you know and who you know will say yes to you just because they like you. You know, like it's not many friends I could call and say, hey, can you be on my board? They'll say yes, but are they committed? Do they really understand what they're getting into? So that's an awesome teachable moment for those who are working on building up their boards.
Yeah.
All right, so we can go ahead and wrap this up. So tell us how we can find Buckout and how we can support and what your needs are right now for the community.
Visit our website, buckoutcleveland.com. There's a lot of information, not only for those who want to support our programming, but those who want to enroll in our dance classes. We now have classes for ages as young as 4 years old. So if you know anyone interested in really being able to not only learn dance for the purpose of, dancing at HBCU, but just movement in general, definitely visit our website. And right now, I think our biggest need for support is just awareness. If you just know anyone or you want to share information, visit our website, follow us on Facebook, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram at Buckout Cleveland, and we look forward to just being able to be a resource to the community.
Awesome. So we'll make sure that information is available to you. And the very last thing, piece of advice for someone looking to start a nonprofit right now based on your experience. Just one takeaway.
I would say just do your homework and understand what a nonprofit is. Understand the difference between a nonprofit and a for-profit. I think that was like the biggest bridge I had to get through myself. So just do your homework. There's so much information out here, and you're in the right place now if you're listening to this podcast.
Awesome. Well, thank you, LaChanee.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
All right, you all. Make sure you check out LaChanee's organization. Watch out for our next episode. If you want to be interviewed, just let me know. All right, take care.